So Season 1 saw us win the League Cup, lose in the Europa Conference League final and secure Champions League football with West Ham for the very first time. Another season in Europe with the Hammers. I mean, how would you describe that? You know the deal by now. Run the intro. So going into Season 2, our objectives were clear. Reach the knockout stages of the Champions League and finish in the top half of the Premier League. Though I've got my sights set much higher than that. We were given a rather favourable start to the season, with Liverpool at home being the only difficult game on paper, at least anyway. One of the first official arrivals into the club this summer is Jobe Bellingham. That's right, Jude's younger brother is now at West Ham United and we picked him up from Birmingham for just £10 million. There were a number of departures from the club this summer, starting off with Manuel Lanzini, who went to Leeds United for £20 million. Connor Coventry went to Stoke for around 400 grand. In the weirdest move of all, Vladimir Coufal went to Manchester United for 20 million quid. I don't really understand this one, to be honest. There was another Czech departure, with Brighton giving us 30 million for Thomas Souček. Brighton also confirmed the permanent transfer of Michail Antonio for £4.3 million. Arthur Masuaku went to Celta Vigo. I don't think he was quite happy about it though.
I don't understand, shithead, what is this?
Nikola Vlasic was shipped off to Italy on loan once again this season, this time to AC Milan. Long-serving fullback Aaron Cresswell went to Bournemouth for £1 million, and on deadline day, Max Cornet went to Brentford for around 10 million. These sales, added to our original budget of 54 million, now gave us around 122 million pounds to improve the squad this summer. Make that 134 million as I tell the board we can qualify for at least the Europa League this season. So as you can see, a lot of players leaving the club this summer, but what you really care about is who we brought in. So without further ado, let's go through them all. Highly rated young French midfielder Khephren Thuram was brought in from Nice for about 18 million pounds. Think of him as the Thomas Souček replacement, just with a little bit more technical ability. Next up was probably the most signed wonder kid on FM23. Yes, Andreas Schelderup is now at West Ham United. He comes in for a price of just £12.75 million. Young goalkeeper Svetoslav Yutsov came in from Slavia Sofia on a free transfer. And sticking with the model of signing exciting young talent, we welcomed Rico Lewis from Manchester City. The young fullback joins for a fee of just £12 million and will provide competition for Ben Johnson this season. Max Kilman came in from relegated Wolverhampton Wanderers to give us a little bit more cover at centre-back, and mainly for homegrown reasons if I'm being completely honest. With Aaron Cresswell gone, we needed a new left-back, so we went out and spent £35 million on RB Leipzig's David Raum. This is someone who West Ham have been linked with in real life, and I think he looks absolutely brilliant on FM and is a perfect replacement for Cresswell. And finally, with Scamacca and Belleau being the only natural strikers at the club, I decided to go out and spend £21.5 million on Eintracht Frankfurt's Randal Kolo Muani. This is someone I've used already this year on FM and I absolutely love him, plus he can play across the entire front three, which is an added bonus. Speaking of Scamacca, Manchester City actually put in a bid for him and he was very keen to join them. However, using my natural charm, I was able to talk him round and convince him to stay at the Hammers. The exact same thing happened with Declan Rice, so thank God we got Champions League football, otherwise I don't think we'd have been able to keep our two-star players. Someone who I did want to lead the club though was Emerson, and after turning down moves to Norwich and Southampton, who both bid around £20 million, and after trying to get rid of him for the entire transfer window, I thought we had finally got him out the door after accepting a loan bid from Bournemouth. No, of course, he turned them down. He's now rossing in the under-21s. So that was our transfer window for Season 2. Get in the comments section and let me know how you would rate our transfer window out of 10. And whilst you're down there, you might as well subscribe to the channel as well so you don't miss any more uploads from this series. And lastly, if you are enjoying this video and this series, then please leave a like on this video. It helps me out massively and helps the channel grow as well. So the new season is about to kick off and we are sticking with the same 4-3-3 from last season. And we picked up right where we left off, with Declan Rice playing a brilliant ball to Jarrod Bowen, who finished with a Di Canio-esque volley past Pickford to give us the lead. New signing Khephren Thuram then set up Marcus Edwards to seal the game and all 3 points on opening day. Our first home game saw us go up against newly promoted Middlesbrough, and it was Jarrod Bowen who was involved once again, playing in Gianluca Scamacca to open his account for the season. Kurt Zouma doubled our lead from a corner before new signing Schelderup marked his first start by teeing up Lucas Paqueta to head home to make it 3. A second for Scamacca, this time from a corner, and a wonderfully struck free kick from Jarrod Bowen rounded off a brilliant 5-1 win. Up next was Liverpool, and with the game poised at just 0-0 with a few minutes to go, up stepped Pablo Fornals to score what is undoubtedly one of the goals of the season.
What a head, son! What a head!
3 wins from 3 and top of the league. Let's hope that we can stay there. 4 points were taken from our games against Southampton and Brentford before we took on Arsenal at the Emirates. And it took just 2 minutes for us to get on the score sheet, with Schelderup scoring his first for the club. Just before half-time though, Arsenal got themselves level with this rather fortuitous goal for Martin Ødegaard.
I just wonder what's the point anymore, you know.
We got our lead back though through a Gianluca Scamacca penalty, and it looked like we would hold on for all 3 points, but with less than 10 minutes to go, Gabriel Martinelli poked home an equaliser and the points were shared. Another London derby up next, and this time it was against Spurs, and once again it was an absolute belter of a game. After taking the lead through shoulder up, Areola decided to make things interesting by letting that go into the back of the net. But we responded well with Scamacca scoring from not one, but 2 set pieces. We really are set piece FC again, aren't we? Fortunately for us, Harry Kane's late penalty wasn't enough to keep Spurs out of the mud this time around.
Lucky swines.
We weren't so fortunate in our next game against Leicester though. With the game level at 1-1, 2 very late goals from James Justin and Wilfred Ndidi secured a 3-1 win for the Foxes, and saw us slide down to 3rd in the table after 10 games played. We got a 4-0 win against Crystal Palace in our next home game, with the highlight being a first West Ham goal for Joe Bellingham. With the fixtures piling up, I decided to rotate the side for our away trip to Norwich. And just like it has gone before in this save, I regretted that decision immediately, with them going 2-0 up with some of the most ridiculous goals you're ever going to see. This meant we had to call upon Scamacca to come off the bench and get us out of trouble. He started things off by setting up Mwani's first goal for the club, before getting on the end of 2 brilliant crosses from Rico Lewis and Shelderup to complete a remarkable 15-minute comeback, with the winning goal coming in injury time. However, after that excellent comeback, our next few results were mixed. A 0-0 draw away at Newcastle was followed by a 1-0 home win against Chelsea thanks to this Jarrod Bowen header, but we followed that up with a defeat at Villa Park with Correa scoring in the 91st minute. So I think we can all agree that the league season so far is going okay. But we spent a lot of money in the summer because we qualified for the Champions League, so let's see who we got in our group, and more importantly, how we got on. So for our first ever Champions League group, we were handed the tough test of facing Real Madrid and Dortmund. Although thankfully our other opponent, TSV Harzburg from Austria, proved to be a little bit easier. So game week 1 saw us travel to Dortmund, and who else but Gianluca Scamacca to help secure us a 1-0 win. A particularly impressive victory given that we were away from home, and it set us up quite nicely for our second match at home to Real Madrid. However, the Spaniards proved to be a much tougher test, with Karim Benzema latching onto a Rodrigo ball, rounding Areola and slotting it into an empty net to give Madrid the 1-0 lead and all 3 points. And it looked to be more of the same in the reverse fixture at the Bernabeu, with Benzema giving Madrid the lead. Due to the strength of the group, we couldn't afford to lose more than 1 game, and we fought back for an equaliser, and with 10 minutes to go, Pablo Fornals found the back of the net. However, to my dismay, the linesman had his flag up and it was ruled out for offside. It looked like the points would once again be going to Madrid. However, deep into stoppage time, Kolo Muani picked out Deandre Nabeljo with a fantastic pass, and the Croatian fired past Courtois to give us a valuable 1-1 draw. Back-to-back 2-0 wins against Hartberg set up a dramatic final game week against Dortmund. And our task was simple: avoid defeat and we would finish second in the group and qualify for the knockout stages. And it should come as no surprise that the big man delivered on the big occasion. Gianluca Scamacca netting not once, not twice, but 3 times to secure his hat-trick and a thumping 3-0 win over Dortmund. Don't think I'm going to overlook that mistake from Kobel for the 3rd goal as well. What an idiot. Thanks for that one, mate. Appreciate it. So there you have it. After 6 games played in the group, we finished second on 13 points, level with Real Madrid. For our first season in the Champions League, that's not bad. Returning to league action then, and we welcomed Manchester United to the London Stadium. And after Victor Lindelof randomly kicked Saïd Benrahma to the ground, we were awarded a penalty, which of course Scamacca scored. Half an hour later, Benrahma then turned goal scorer, latching onto a wonderful pass from Thuram and firing past David De Gea to make it 2-0. And despite this goal from Varane, we were able to hold on for all 3 points. We beat Leeds 3-1 in our next game, with young fullback Emmanuel Longolo scoring his first goal for West Ham. What a moment. Bottom of the table, Birmingham City were up next, and look who they've appointed as their new manager. And Moisey made sure to send me a stark warning going into this game.
That's what I do. I win.
We won 5-0. Next up was Man City at home, and we could do nothing to stop the inevitability that is Erling Haaland, who secured the visitors a 1-0 win. We followed that defeat up with a 2-0 win away at Bournemouth before welcoming Brighton and Thomas Souček to the London Stadium. And what better way to round off this episode than with another hat-trick from Gianluca Scamacca. These goals took the Italians' total up to 17 in 18 in the league and 21 in 22 in all competitions. The standout moment from this game, though, had to be this unbelievable solo run and finish from Lucas Paqueta. The Brazilian picked the ball up on the halfway line before running through the entire of Brighton's defence and slotting past the goalkeeper to round off a 4-0 victory. Which means that at the halfway point of the season, we sit second in the league on 42 points. 2 points above Liverpool in 3rd and 3 behind City in 1st, although both those teams do have a game in hand on us. Gianluca Scamacca sits second in the Golden Boot race, 3 goals behind Erling Haaland, and second in the average rating list on a 7.73. And Jarrod Bowen is once again near the top of the assist charts, leading the way with 9. My only concern going into the second half of the season is that without Gianluca Scamacca, there's not really enough goals coming from the rest of the team. A lot of our goals are spread out amongst the rest of the squad, but there is no obvious second goal scorer for us. This might be because I'm rotating the side more this season with the Champions League fixtures we've got coming up, but if you've got any solutions for me on how to get more goals from the rest of the players on the pitch, then do get in the comment section and let me know. Thank you very much for watching as always, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you are enjoying this series as much as I am. If the next episode is uploaded by the time you are watching this, I'll of course include it on the end screen for you to click straight through to and carry on watching. And once again, if you haven't already, please make sure that you are subscribed to the channel and leave a like on this video if you have enjoyed yourselves as well. And as always, until the next video, there's only one thing left to say. Come on, you Irons!